Here we go again. I just left one speaking. And at that speaking, me and we have a problem. At that speaking, everywhere I've been, there always been a room full of women and hardly no men at all. We have a problem. Amen. And we have a serious problem. Amen again. Our men now is afraid to stand and afraid to stand for what is right. Amen. I'm the father of Kendrick Johnson. You were speaking of we have our rights. My son had a right to go to school and come home. Amen. Amen. Our school system. Me and my wife had a right to know what happened to our son. Yes. Right again. Yes. How can my son dedicate himself so much to Lowndes High School? Valdosta, Georgia have a real problem. He dedicated himself. He went to school. He done everything that a child is supposed to have done. I didn't have to make him go to school. I didn't have to make him do what's right. He played 3 sports with Lowndes High ever since he was in the 6th grade. He dedicated himself to that school. This school didn't have a decency enough to come tell me and my wife, I'm sorry. They didn't have a decency enough to come and pay the respect to my son. Instead, the superintendents go back to school and say, y'all don't go to the room. Miss Johnson cussed me out. Miss Johnson wasn't even there when he got there that day. My daughter finished school at Lowndes High. I remember the day when Miss Hutchinson called her and said, Kiera, do you want to walk? She said, Dad, what you want me to do? They just ain't long found a brother dead at school. Dad, what you want me to do? I said, Kiera, you want to walk? Walk. She said, okay, let me call Miss Hutchinson back. She stood right beside me and called Miss Hutchinson. All of a sudden, there's a change. Miss Hutchinson said, I'll call you back. She got a phone call. He said, Kiana, you can't walk. Now, how in the world? She finished school, passed her graduation test, and this school denied my daughter a chance to walk in her graduation. How is that? I never heard that before. No. When she finished, she had passed the graduation test, and then it came time for her to walk. I know plenty of times kids done this. Passed the graduation test later, and then still was able to walk. Not only is the sad part about it, that she called and asked her if she wanted to walk. And then when she decided to walk, they denied her to walk. And this school never acknowledged my son of what happened to him. Never supported Kendrick or the family. Never done anything. And how can a sheriff turn around, tell you 2 different ways that my son was found? He couldn't have got it mixed up. He was there. How can my son, let me say this. When you die, there's two places you can go. You go to the hospital or you go to the funeral home. You don't go to the crime lab. How can my son look all these different ways? I'm not telling you something that I heard. I'm telling you something that I know. How can my son, within 2 days, look the way he looked? They say, you know, when you have an autopsy on him, they cut you, they do this to you, do this to you, and you'll look different. No. I've been Googling different medical things on the internet, and autopsy is one of them. I don't watch probably 100 of them. I watch the whole thing. My wife said, why are you watching that kind of stuff? Because I want to know.
Amen.
Amen.
My son was found within 19 hours of the time he went missing. They say he swole up because he was upside down. The blood rushed to the top of his head. Okay. Well, why? The swelling is to one side of the face. Why is the swelling is not to the top of his head? Within 2 days, when I finally got a chance to see my son, was on a Sunday. My son was as black as a car tire. Head was as wide as his shoulders. But when they lifted my son off the floor, he wasn't like that. How can he get like that? How? If his body was properly stored, he shouldn't have got like that. But we'll fight till hell freezes over. Because if we don't stand for Kendrick, who will? And like you said, these scared Negroes around here in Valdosta, I don't know what's wrong with them.
Amen. Amen.
I do not know what's wrong with them.
I don't either. I really
We
don't.
stand on that corner. Next month will be a year, right?
Yeah.
We've been on that corner, street corner. These Negroes will ride by you, turn their head.
That's right. They sure will.
I can't say what I want, but it's a shame.
It's a shame before God.
Amen.
When your own kind ride past you and turn their head.
My Lord.
Amen.
The ones that you think that are against you,
Yes, sir.
they're the ones with you.
Amen.
I will speak on racism a little bit.
Go ahead, brother.
Because racism do exist here in Rhynes County. It exists real strong. But a lot of times, the ones, since we've been going through this ordeal, the ones that we think against us, them the ones that's with us.
Yeah.
Them the ones that ride by and blow their horn, hold up their thumbs, when our own kind is dropping their head,
That's right.
turn their head.
I'm a witness.
Scared to stand up.
I'm a witness of it.
Yes. Yes.
And it's a shame.
It's a shame before God.
If we continue to degrade one another and look the other way and accept whatever someone tells you about you, if you just continue to accept that, what do you think gonna keep happening? If we, as Kendrick's parents, didn't stand up and fight for him, he just would have been another lost soul.
Amen. That's right.
I wasn't gonna let them tell me my son reached for a shoe and got stuck and died. But let me give you this first story. It said, Mr. Johnson, it appears that your son got down beside this mat, bent over, and got stuck, and he couldn't stand back up. Man, you gotta be crazy for even saying that. Because the mat was 14 inches. Kendrick was 19 inches in the shoulder. So how can that happen? Where Kendrick was found, from the time he went missing at 109, 123, a clash started in the same exact spot. So how can you get stuck? How can you cut all your fingernails off? How can you scroll your books all over the floor? How, but this is the most part. All right. You add one shoe. Now, well, come on. If you put one shoe in the mat, the other shoe was in the mat. How can one of his shoes was in the mat, other shoe was on the other side over there, and as he appears to be inside the mat, he got another pair of shoes behind him. I mean, unless we just, me and my wife is mentally challenged. I mean, I guess they thought we were going to believe that. Everyone have a right to know what happened to their loved one.
Amen. Amen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Even the flight 37, I don't blame them family for raising all kind of singing, because they got a right to know what happened to their loved one.
Amen.
Amen.
And to be denied the truth is a problem. They have no problem paying us all kind of attention when we are suspects. But when we are victims, they don't care. How do you want to lock us up, be so quick to lock us up, but when something happens, oh, it'll be all right. We can't continue to let these things happen. First, it was in Tampa, Florida. Then it was in Jacksonville. And now it's in Valdosta, Georgia. We got to start standing together.
Amen.
Yes.
And making a difference. We do need more black lawyers. We do need more black police chiefs. We do need more black sheriffs. We do need more judges in there. But not to say to just help our kind. But we need to help get justice. If our peoples are wrong, they're wrong.
Amen.
Wherever the chip falls,
Amen.
they fall.
Amen.
This family got more than other families.
No, sir.
We can't continue to let this happen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
This is a human issue. Not once that the Johnson family ever hollered race. Not once.
Amen. That's right.
Amen. Amen.
But a lot of racism has been going on. A lot of racism has been saying. They've been bringing it to us, but we never once said
That's right.
racism.
That's right.
We never once. But we will always stand in the truth will reveal.
Amen. Amen.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming.
And they know it's coming.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir. It's coming.
They know it's coming.
They know it.
Yes, sir.
Because my son had a right to go to school and come home.
Yes, he did.
No matter who's never was involved. And I'm going to say this. All them different agents was on the scene that day. They got to be held accountable. Because they took an oath to protect and serve.
Yeah.
Amen. Yes, they did.
If one agent was doing something wrong, the other agent should have stepped in and said, no, this is not right. And we won't stop until every stone is turned.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Let's stand up and clap. Amen for standing up. Thank him for standing strong in his right shackling. That's just like Jesus.
Stand up.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Keep it going on.
Johnson, stand up. We are going to stand with you.
We need you.
We're going to stand with you. Absolutely.
Give it on the Spirit of Christ together in my life. Thank God for being here this afternoon. And it's so good to be here. And we heard so many different things tonight, and it's very powerful. The NAACP is a very powerful organization that's been in our life for many years. And it's something that we should not take for granted. I admire the Johnson family, and I commend you for standing the way you stand.
Amen.
Because he was right. When children leave home in the morning to go to school, we expect them to come home in the afternoon. That's enough right there, just alone. Now, the other thing is that we do need some economic changes in Lowndes County. And we do need some progression made here along contracts and everything else. And the NAACP plays a vital role in our lives. The young man that came up and spoke so diligently about the educational part, we do need that. And we do need the support of everyone here in our city. And we must come together. You see, because we are not the minority here, we are the majority, and majority rules. Once we learn and understand that we are the majority of the city, that means that you ain't never know nowhere where the minority rules over the majority. The majority always rules. All we have to do is use our voting power and do the things that we should do. See, we need change economically, and that'll change things here in the city. We need to share the contracts and the money that we spent here in the city. We need to share this, because if we don't change it economically, it's going to be devastating all along the road that we travel. I represent the Black Business Association of the Lowndes County, and I work with the mayor and different people here in the city. And we see a lot of money come through here that's not shared amongst a lot of contractors. We hear a lot of different reasons why money is not shared, but there's a lot of money that comes through here. My son is just being awarded a project for $2.4 million, not in this city, but somewhere else in another city. That's the same thing we have right here in this city. We are negotiating the contract right now. But the same thing we have right here, why do we have to leave our city? And we doing the same type of work here in this city, but we haven't got a 1 hour of a job from anyone from this city.
Amen.
We have to come together. So we can change it economically if we want. If all we got to do is come together and redirect our funds. It'll change things overnight. But we must come together. Like you said, where's all the preachers? I'm a minister, I'm here. I can't speak for no one else, but I can speak for myself because I'm here. And I can't say that much. But I like to say this, and I want to commend you and thank you for taking the time and coming down and welcome you to the first thing up in the Baptist Church. And you all is welcome back here at any time. And I give honor to you, all that's out there for coming and participating tonight. I don't have very much more to say, but we do need economic changes here, because that's where our economic power will come from. Thank you.
Amen. this time, with none else, we stand in, I do my benediction.
We got one now. We're grateful to have Brooks NAACP tonight.
Amen. Brother DeShaver.
Amen.
I want to call Branch President G.B.R. for his announcement. He from the NAACP branch number 5173, Brooks County.
Good evening, everyone.
Amen.
I'd like to give honor to God, the great shepherd of this house, President Johnson, and everyone in their respective place. I am the Brooks County Branch NAACP 5173 president. I have been working with trying to work with the 11th district, not 11th district, I'm sorry. First district president here, over here trying to help Lowndes get reestablished in certain ways. One of the things I come to announce today is that we're, like you said, we are still in the struggle. And I see a lot of things that, like you said, a lot of men are not stepping up. And what I can see is job security. A lot of them afraid of their job.
Amen.
They're being intimidated.
Yes, sir.
Threatened of their job.
Yes, sir.
By trying to be a part of the NAACP. And the question I ask, what is so dangerous about being a member of the NAACP? Nothing. The NAACP is here to help those that are in need, not to tear down anything. It's to help. If your employer is afraid of the NAACP, there's something he's doing wrong. He don't want nobody to find out. That's the only reason I can see that someone can be afraid of the NAACP. They are doing something wrong and they don't want it to be found out about. The other announcement I have is that you guys maybe have heard of the Quitman 10+2 with the voter thing over in Brooks County. Okay, we're asking for support, people to come out and stand in the courtroom with them and help. They're going back to trial again. The date for the trial is Monday, April 14, 2014. And the time is on that is at 1:30 at the Brooks County Courthouse. They had the first trial, and they had to call a mistrial on it. In the first trial, 3 of the prosecution key witnesses was all found, I ain't gonna say found guilty, was all 3 of them was guilty of something, one thing or another. You had the, what's his name, the district attorney here?
David Miller.
David Miller. He was caught on perjury. On the stand. You have the old voter registration lady. What she was doing, she was taking ballots home with her.
The post office.
And once those ballots come in, those voters, absentee ballots come into office, they're supposed to be up on the lock and key. You're not supposed to be taking them home. You can add a 4th person in there because she had her granddaughter helping her with it. So that was a violation. It was a felony. That is a felony charge right there on her. Then you had the guy at the post office.
Yes, sir.
It's a privacy violation. The post office has, you know this. I'm a retired letter carrier of Valdosta. I retired out of Valdosta Post Office. I'm still the union representative of the city carriers. That's where I just come from. I came from a union meeting that we had scheduled previously. Every month we have a union meeting. In the postal regulation, it goes up under the Privacy Act. No carrier, clerk, or any employee is supposed to gather your information, writing your name down, address, and whatever type of mail you're mailing out. I'm supposed to be writing that information down, giving it to somebody else outside of the post office. There's only 2 people, 2 organizations, I say, that can gather that information. That is the OIG and the postal inspector. Those are the only 2 people that can gather that information And they cannot give it out without you telling them.
So there's an event going on? Tell us about that event again. So
The event is they having a court case, the next trial case, I give it to brother. And the trial case will be April 14th, that's a Monday, at 1:30 p.m. on April 14th. And they are trialing Miss Lula Smart. She's the one that's on trial. At the Quitman, Brooks County Courthouse in Quitman, Georgia.
Okay, 2 points I want to mention. Number one, being Boston G.B.R. on YouTube, I went and pulled a legal document. The legal document says 9:30 on that same day, April 14th. That's what I got. I went by to get it because I want to make sure I report it right. Okay. Unless you got another one.
I got it off my subpoena.
Well, that should be more up to date for you in terms of when you're supposed to be there. But the court is 9 o'clock. That's on the docket. Yeah, that's on the docket. That's number one. Number two, the Lula Smart trial is the second time they've tried this young lady. This is the second time. First one was a mistrial. Now, you have 12 people that were involved in that. But the real point I want to ask you, and I'm asking you publicly because I'm tired of closed doors information. Now, you mentioned about, I was in the courtroom, so I witnessed all this. What was published in the newspapers, in the general public, in terms of the 3 items you just mentioned in South Georgia? Was any of that on TV?
No.
So that means, you were there too. So that means this is what I've been saying, and this is why I cry out. And most people don't give me no time to talk because they don't want to know the truth. I got the truth. But here's what they don't want. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know what's going on. But all I'm asking you to do is go to Boston G.B.R. and you'll get the rest of the story. And I guarantee you that's why I'm under this 60-day criminal trespass warrant. But the bottom line is that individual from the post office took mail home. The registrar took stuff home, had people to work on it, and none of that was in the newspaper on television, y'all. And yet they found a mistrial, but there's a lot of other things happen too that y'all don't know about. And you never will know, but I'll tell you what, if you go to Boston G.B.R. and look at my YouTube, you will see the rest of the story. And this is what is happening, y'all. They don't want us to know.
You all got that?
Yes, sir.
You know that, don't you? All right. So we got the date on that. All right. Is there anything else from anyone else? And I know we got...
I'm going to say one more thing.
Okay.
Only things these ladies did was they beat the bush and got the vote.
That's right, that's right. Amen.
Brooks County, on an average, on an election, on an average, was averaging 300 ballots on those large elections like that. And back in 2010. That particular year, they came in with 1,400. And the 3 people that they was pushing the ballots for, all 3 of them won. They lost at the poll, but all 3 of them won off of absentee ballots. And then that's when they came out and voted for them.
Well, is that the first time that they ever had a black majority on the school board?
Yes, it's the first time they ever had a black majority on the school board. And through the same process they did in 2010, one of the members of the Quitman 10 was re-elected in the last election doing the same process. During that same process, our first elected mayor of Quitman is a black, doing the same process. Now our city board, commission board, is majority of black now. So all it did was they was pushing to make change in Quitman, and they being charged for voter fraud for making change. But if we stand, like Brother Johnson said, we need to stand and stand together with them. Stand there. And we voted to put them in there, we need to stand with them. And that's what we're trying to do, and that's what the process they're going through. And it started April 14th. Like Brother Rhynes said, he got it at